What's up, everybody? This is LG Doucet, and you're listening to Milk Road Degen for Monday, June 23rd. The markets are red, but not as red as they were yesterday, so that's a good thing. You may be watching this on YouTube, and if you are, thank you so much. If you're not watching it on YouTube, you can head over there. We have a YouTube channel now, a Milk Road Degen YouTube channel, so go to youtube.com/Milk Road Degen. There's already subscribers, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. I just did it, and these shows will be live on that channel from now on, and you can watch them back. It's going to be a much easier way to watch them back. Today, I have five tokens that I like that have survived pretty well through the weekend. Although one of them, as I was doing my TA right before the show started, is kind of dead. Well, it's not dead. It's just not doing as well as I thought. But there are 5 tokens that I'm very interested in that are holding up quite well that I am potentially buying today. I should have been buying them yesterday, but I could still buy them today. That are holding up through this downturn, through the war, through the World War III narrative, if you will. So before we start all that, before we get into those tokens, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. And remember, as usual, nothing on the show is financial advice. Okay, major disclaimer: make your own decisions. These are all going to zero someday. We just don't know when, and that's the fun part. So let's get right. Oh. Before I forget, I just want to say that I was tagged in this KOL tweet. I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know what kind of system this is, but from this thing called DexCheck AI, I was tagged in this beautiful tweet. Basically, it's very long, but you can see that I'm tagged right here. Gorbagana has gone up over 6 cents since they called it. However, LG Doucet has a relatively solid play entering the new week. 2 for 2, 300 ROI on Gore and 20% on Useless. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know if that's about me, but basically this thing is tracking how often I tweet about certain tokens and is clearly happy with my Gorbagana call, which I sadly sold. I wish we all held Gorbagana and held it. Well, maybe not until now, but it did very well. Okay, enough of that. Let's get that. Gorbagana is not one of the tokens I'm going to talk about today. So just ignore that for now. The first token I want to talk about is Creator Bid. So we talked about this on Friday, okay? And this one's on base. This is the Virtuals competitor. It has a few very large agents from their last big AI pump, including D-Kings, this thing, which has raised, it's a sports betting agent that's raised $300 million to basically develop its tech. It's not a small deal. Creator Bid is about to launch. It's basically like its second iteration of its product, where you're going to have all these different kind of bidding mechanisms. You're going to have different ways to enter into tokens, into agents, very similar to virtuals, but with a few added features. One including that with your over allocated tokens, you can actually commit those to a snipe of the token. So Creator Bid is going to be using its main agent, which is, I think, agent or something like that, or agent algo, it's called. They're going to use that agent to snipe these launches on behalf of people who have pledged to these launches. Otherwise, the rest of the structure is almost exactly like virtuals. Instead of points, they have bid levels, which you achieve by holding different amounts of tokens on Creator Bid. Anyways, look at this chart. This chart looks like there has never even been a war, honestly. That's like 8 out of 10 green days in the last little bit. No downturns, no war, massive green candle. Look at this volume today, dude. This is the 3rd biggest candle in the last month. It's huge. So a lot of whales going into this. I've started tracking a lot of whales, just FYI. And I can tell you that a lot of whales are starting to get into this one, which is pretty wild, honestly. So maybe a little too late, but I am liking this token. I wish we bought it on Friday, which was here when it was at 25 million. We should have been scooping that up, because we'd be up like 30% already. But we might be saying that in 2 days' time about today's show. You can see right here around the end of May when that new system was announced and that major pump starting for this token, going from 8 to 32. So 4x this month. Community sentiment is extremely bullish. We're looking over at Cookie for some community sentiment. 98% positive. I don't know who is fudding this thing right now, but I think that we are about to see a lot of stuff about Creator, but you're going to see a lot of content about it on the timeline, because they also have a points program similar to virtuals, where you talk about it and you get points. You earn more access to tokens. So that is Creator Bid. Let's move on to Useless. We've talked about this token so many times on the show. This bad boy, which is launched, which is on the Let's Bonk platform. Okay, so a competitor to Pump.Fun, but that's not really the point. It's heavily supported by that community, the bonk community, and by Bonk Guy, who owns like 1 or 2% of this. This is probably the 4th or 5th time I'm talking about this token. I think that this, if I had to pick any token that has only never really gone beyond like 120, 140, 150 to be the next billion-dollar token, this is hands down. This is it. I wish I could bet on that. Maybe there's somewhere I can long this thing or just make a polymarket bet or something like that. This thing has been chopping in the 80 to $100 million range here for like a week or so, since going on an absolute blast off. This support range at like 70, 80 million is very strong. Let's look at the daily chart. You can barely tell again that there's been a war, right? Like, look, 2 big green candles over the weekend, printing a bit of a red one today, but still holding that $100 million line. If it closed above 100 million, it would probably be its first close above 100 million, which is pretty significant if you care about those types of TA tokenomics. This thing's just on an absolute ripper. This thing is a volume eater. This to me is probably the biggest potential token on Solana right now. So definitely something that I should get in on, and I should maybe go back in time a month when we started talking about it and get in on it then, but I can't. Community sentiment also extremely high, 89% on this thing. So really, I think that we're going to see a lot more noise from Useless in the coming weeks, and it's a meme coin. It's useless. That's the whole point. There's no the beauty of this thing is that we don't have to talk about utility or anything going on. It's literally a useless, stupid token, and those are the best ones sometimes. You know, like a FARTCOIN kind of thing. Before we continue, we have one last message from our sponsor. To the last day of sponsorship from Earn Park. Ooh, Earn Park. Listen, token pre-sale is the hottest thing in the world. I don't have to explain to you that Earn Park is registered with the SEC, that they give you all these juicy yields on their DeFi. I don't need to tell you all that kind of stuff. What I do need to tell you is that they are registering right now people for their pre-sale of the Park token. They've already raised 700 grand or more. You can go to it by earnpark.com/token sale. Put in your email right there. Get in on that thing. The next sale starts very soon, so don't wait and do it. At the very least, just put in your email. You're not committing money by putting your email. Just go put your email. That's all you need to do. And if ever they ask you, tell them that I sent you. Once this token comes out, you get a few juicy things. You get to boost those yields by even more than they are, and it's like 15% or something on stables. It's something berserk. You get to avoid more of their fees, so you get even more money, and you also get to vote on stuff, which is always fun. I like people ask my opinion. So Earn Park, thank you for sponsoring the show. Hopefully we see you guys again sometime. Let's get to token number 3, LABUBU. So this chart not as hot as the others, but I do see a lot of it on the timeline. This is some kind of I think this is like a Chinese little doll thing. I don't think that this is, I don't know. This is not their official token, but it's on an absolute ripper. And in a way, I think it's like becoming their official token. I also saw something about how LABUBU has these like boxes you can open that are getting really hot. So I'm seeing people talk about that on the timeline. This thing been holding pretty steady. Like this thing popped off early May, hit a high of $70 million. We've mentioned it a few times on the show. Now you could argue that maybe this is like some kind of bull flag. It's holding a nice resistance in the high 1900s or 19 million, 20 million. Today printing a bit of a red day, but this thing, like I said, the only reason I'm talking about it today on the show is there's a token refusing to die on the weekend. 2 big green days. 2 big green days. If you had to buy anything on the weekend and hope for it to go up, this would have been probably your best bet. So it's 100% on my radar, and I'm very interested in probably never acquiring something. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just not my kind of thing. But if you like this, I highly recommend you look into LABUBU and you think that opening cool boxes or whatever is a thing. This is for you. Community sentiment, very, 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 very split. 55%. Okay. 55% community split on their sentiment. But look at this. There's nice tweets from Jesse Polak, Mr. Base Layer L2 tokenize everything. Actually promoting that you can LABUBU yourself with this. Okay, maybe let's go check it out. Let's go. Maybe we can go LABUBU ourselves. Let's go see what this link is. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Maybe that's what kind of gave it a bit of a pump on the weekend. Actually, no. Oh, this is 5 days ago. Okay, forget it. Yeah, that's a while ago. Okay, the link doesn't work. I have no patience. Let's move on to token number 4, which is FARTCOIN. So I really don't ever talk about caps this high. 900 million. That's way too expensive for LG. Are you out of your mind? You have too much headroom. Here we go. That's much better. 900 million, way too much, but I do like when things are on sale. Okay, LG not allergic to sales. Let's not forget that FARTCOIN has a high of almost $3 billion set pretty much right at the inauguration, right before that Trump token just came along and sucked all the liquidity out of the market. So FARTCOIN found its lows. A lot of people got in on this through March and April. Really great time to buy. Now it's been trying to break back above to 2 billion and just can't do it. So you've got kind of a ceiling in the like 1.4 to 1.6 billion dollar range. Really taking some hard hits over the weekend. It actually was a little bit green yesterday, but Saturday all the way down to 820, 840. It's formed a little line down there, seeing some support, but still got hammered. I think, first of all, I didn't give my opinions on the war. I don't think anybody I think very few people have good opinions on the war. But I will give you my opinion on the market on the war. I don't think the worst has happened yet. I think the worst is yet to come. I think there's going to be more conflict, more doomsday scenarios. So I think that the majors like this still have a lot of room to drop. But I do think that I don't know why I said these are 5 tokens refusing to die, but FARTCOIN, still looking better than if you bought it any time before May, basically. March, April, you'd still be up like at an absolute obscene amount. So when there is a rebound, once Trump goes to Iran and shakes hands with everybody that says these are good people, which he will inevitably do in some way. If I had to pick any token to rebound and go absolutely berserk, FARTCOIN's one of them. So just going to put that on your radar. Not one that's that hot. It's refusing to die. Its market cap is still around $1 billion, but not super hot. Community sentiment still very high though, 79%. A lot of support for FARTCOIN, right? FARTCOIN pretty much on all the major exchanges. Something that you can long and short as well. So something to look at and consider. The last token for today, one of the hottest of the last like 2 months, is LAUNCHCOIN. A bunch of red days. This one has kind of died, but $90 million market cap, you could say, is not really dying. It sat well below that for a long time until LAUNCHCOIN really blew up. Just a quick reminder, LAUNCHCOIN is this whole ecosystem. We covered it on Friday, ironically. I'm sure all the tokens we covered on Friday. Actually, no, we're supposed to cover it on Friday. We're supposed to have a guest, but they no-showed, so we never actually did cover this. So maybe it'll be a newsletter this week. Maybe we'll talk about LAUNCHCOIN and all the best tokens on the Believe app. But it has a nice community sentiment. Oh, no, it doesn't. 53%. Yikes. Okay. People hate this thing. And I think what happens sometimes with these ecosystems, and I'll explain to you why there's an actual bull case, is that when there's these kind of builder ecosystems, they go through a pop, people get in on it, people get absolutely torched. 95% of the builders turn out to be scammers and people get out of there. But there are still people building. And I know some people who still really believe in this ecosystem. So I'm looking for a low. Similar to FARTCOIN, I don't think this has gone away yet, but I don't think that this has hit its bottom. So I think if there's more bad days, this FARTCOIN loses its $90 million support level, but I am looking for scalps. I don't know where. Maybe in this original daily close around the $50 million mark. Maybe once you start to see screenshots on the timeline of people being like, wow, FARTCOIN was dead all along, or not FARTCOIN, LAUNCHCOIN was dead all along. I told you, and like maybe we start to see those types of tweets. I think maybe that's a good time to buy in. Also, a lot of FUD today. Basically, this whole thing going out, and I'll share Ultra's tweet in the write-up that if you launched a token on the platform, to claim all your fees, you basically have to dox yourself. You have to KYC, which is very anti-Web3. And basically, there's 2 ways to look at this. One, it's not very Web3. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. The other way to look at it is that Ben Pasternak, who's the guy who developed this, is basically trying to weed out all the scammers who've made a lot of money scamming people with the platform by telling them, hey, you got to dox if you want to get your money, and then probably going to try and nab them in the ass and I don't know, get them in trouble for rugging people. So rugging people on his platform, how dare you? So anyways, I guess these last 2 tokens are kind of tokens to watch as they die, but they're things that I am definitely looking to scoop. These are tokens. This and FARTCOIN are 2 things that I think would be good, a good part of your portfolio if you're bullish on Solana, if you're bullish on meme coins, if you're bullish on things continuing to build. I think all 5 of these tokens are really bullish, but to me, honestly, the strongest out of everything I mentioned today is useless. I can't believe how well it's doing despite the downturn. And creator bid, whew, man, I don't know. Maybe that's the top, but they haven't even put their thing out yet. So not a bad token. I don't think I have anything else for you today. I said we would do we would do 5 tokens, and that's what we got. Make sure you go over to the YouTube, Milk Road Degen, and subscribe. Otherwise, see you tomorrow right back here on Milk Road Degen. Thanks for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful